Hey, so I'm going to do something wild and wacky.
Go for it.
We have a guest. I'm going to introduce our guest.
Do it.
Furious Pete is here joining us for Open House.
Clap
Can I ask Pete a question?
A question brought to you by Macwell and our sponsor for this episode.
Pete, what's the most you've ever eaten in one sitting? Like for an eating contest or just in general? What's the most you've ever eaten?
I think like one of the biggest challenges that I did was in Boston. It was only like five-pound burger with 20 pieces of bacon, 20 pieces of cheese.
Only.
But the part that was hard was the 5 pounds of fries that came with it. So it was like a tray full of fries. Germany, I think I did like half a 30-pound burger.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like
Only half.
Do you ever do the thing where you eat and then you shit and then you weigh yourself before and after?
I have weighed myself before and after all-you-can-eat wings once, and it was a 32-pound difference.
Oh my gosh.
Holy shit.
I'm terrified now.
Your first disappointing question this week comes from Mossy Mao. My air conditioning is broken and it's 102 degrees out. What should I do to cool down until the sexy repairman comes? I added that bit.
Yeah, but it works with my answer. Because I was going to say, if you treat it like a porno, then you just put on some very light lingerie. When they show up, they're going to put a little screw to your air conditioner, if you know what I mean. I ain't got no cash, Mr. Repairman.
Is that you?
That's me. That's how it sounds.
Like a Southern Belle.
I was going to say a thing that I've actually been doing recently, because normally I walk around my house naked.
Yeah, we know.
Which is something that I think most people do, right? Everybody? Right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you put an ice pack on your balls. What you do, but you got to wrap it in a towel first.
Yeah, you don't want that frostbite.
You wrap it in like a little paper towel, and then you just apply it to your balls and taint, and it cools you right down.
Bruce, you can market that like Bruce Green's Fupa Freeze.
It's just an ice pack. That's all it is.
Put it on your cooter. He throws it at
Sell
you.
it for $19.99.
Yeah.
Free shipping.
It's a good price. How many son?
Well, Bruce, that sounds very effective, but you're only cooling one part of the body. What about the other end? By which, of course, I mean the anus. So,
It's just right next to it.
so you might make your fupa pads. I'm going to pioneer the very first ergonomically shaped anal insertion frozen method. You might be thinking, that's just a popsicle.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
you'd be right.
Okay. Are they still flavored?
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. I want purple.
That ice pack's gonna start melting real fast.
That's good if you got a wet anus, then you can have sex with the repairman who comes.
Oh, I think my anus has gotten sticky and purple.
It's terrible lube. Let's try it.
I think being cool is a state of mind.
Okay.
And that's why you invite the repairman over and you pop on Cool World, okay?
Which is like the least cool thing ever.
I don't know, and then you shove shit up your butt, whatever. Pete,
Well, I was just going to go for eating a lot of ice cream until he comes.
You lower the internal body temperature once you get 35 pounds of ice cream in you.
That's right. That's right.
Next question from Lynn the librarian. It's back to school time. What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you in school, and how did you bounce back from it?
The most embarrassing thing that happened to me, I didn't even realize was embarrassing, but it was when I tried to wear a beret, ironically. I forgot to explain that part to the rest of the school, and so then I found out afterwards that I had just been a guy wearing a beret for about a week.
A whole week you wore a beret?
Well, you gotta have the control. You know, if it's an experiment, Bruce, you can't just do one day.
One time I was about to prank my school. A friend of mine, we're going to lock all the doors, and we're going to go in with AR-15s and guns. We weren't going to shoot anyone. We're just going to scare them all, go prank you. But then Columbine happened, and it was tasteless all of a sudden.
My God.
Jeez.
Just for reference, this episode was filmed on August 7th, 2018 at 5:21 p.m. Pacific Coast time. So whatever Adam said
Didn't cause anything.
didn't cause something to happen and is not a joke in response to whatever obviously inevitably happened by the time you see this episode.
All right, I'm going to lighten up the room a little bit. Picture this. A dude with sweet Vans on,
Ugh.
cool corduroy shorts,
corduroy.
a wallet chain, a band shirt, and then sweet sideburns. That's me in high school. I never did anything embarrassing.
I guess you don't need to bounce back.
And I never bounced back because I was the most popular kid in school.
Still is.
It's hard to top that.
Well, you guys have already heard about this, but remember that time I downloaded Vanilla Sky using the school's Wi-Fi? Downloaded Vanilla Sky illegally?
At least you're a pirate.
Somebody reported me. They told me, you do this again, we're taking it straight straight to the dean. And I had to sign a paper acknowledging that I did it, and they listed Vanilla Sky on it. But Vanilla Sky is a better movie than people give it credit for, I think.
You should pay for it.
Lawrence, what about you?
One that I can remember, I used to have terrible shit shyness. You know, when you're like, you're in the
yeah,
stall
yeah.
and you got a shit and there's someone else in there. I've learned that the mental game is to treat it like a challenge. Like I have to show people what I'm all about, and now's the time, like 12 Angry Men style.
What?
But
Is that how to do it?
at the time, I was trying to diffuse my own nervousness by putting it out into the world. So I went into the bathroom and the stall was closed. And I assumed it was another student. So I was like, oh, I've caught you in a precarious situation. I joked out loud. I don't know why. Then the door opened and it was the janitor, a grown-ass janitor. And I realized, oh wow, I just made an adult feel really awkward as a child. I guess at that moment I realized what terrible power I can wield for the rest of my life, because now I do it to everyone around me.
Next question from some bearded bastard. A series of events has caused me to move to a new state where I know almost no one.
Oh.
I'm in need of a new job but have few skills.
Oh.
What should I do to find work and make money?
This is like the easiest answer ever.
Okay.
Oh,
Go for
hit it, Pete.
Yeah, go for it.
There's strip joints in every single town in this world.
Thunder Down Under, you know?
But what if they become the most popular stripper in Boise, Idaho?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Emphasis on the boys.
You make hundreds of.
Then they move on to Vegas.
That's actually not a
Wait,
bad idea.
so there's like a career trajectory for a stripper?
I mean, if the money's right.
Yeah, your ankles hold out.
It's local, regional, state, Vegas,
Where are the finals?
Shanghai.
If you want to get hired at a strip club, you could probably go talk to some sleazy old dude. He's gonna ask to see your dick spin. Why bother? Just start knocking on doors and tell people you're an air conditioning repairman. They'll invite you right in. Their body's already chilled off.
That's true.
You got a nice cool hole to spend the afternoon in. And then I don't know, you bang a metal box with a wrench for a little bit and say, I gotta order some parts and get the fuck out of there. And hey, if there's any loose cash sitting on the table, you just take it. It's a tip.
I'm gonna pull a page from one of my favorite films. I say you pretend to be a little bit dim. You start mowing some lawns. Ultimately, a scientist will discover you. He'll put you in a virtual reality machine that'll make you super smart.
Is this
You'll bang
milk?
a
Are you
chicken.
describing milk money?
No, that's a prostitute. We're describing Lawnmower Man.
Oh, okay.
And then ultimately you'll merge with the system, and then you'll get out at the last minute, and then you can start Job's War. It's a perfect plan.
Job's War.
Similar to that, actually, I think what you do is you find the one rich man in town who's just so tired of being so rich. You do a trading places situation. That's bound to
that's a good
happen.
idea.
Prince and
yeah.
the Pauper.
How whimsical.
Exactly. But then here's the thing. When he decides that he learned a lesson, you don't give it back. You throw him in jail.
You learn
Nice.
nothing.
I will also draw, like James from Cinematic Experience, Scissorhands.
Okay.
Edward Scissorhands, he didn't know how to do shit, okay?
Yeah,
But people were
true.
attracted to the Scissorhands. So they said, cut my hair.
And so he did.
And he did.
And he'd say, cut my dog.
Cut my hedges.
Cut my wrists because I want to get out of this bit.
You guys all forgot the easiest answer of all, because we all do it. Start a YouTube channel. That's all you do. You just start a
child's
YouTube
play.
channel.
What a
You make
smart thing to do
you
in
make
2018.
videos every single day. You play a video game. How hard can it be?
How hard can it
You
be?
won't be able to count your Teslas. Cam Erd writes, one of my favorite movies growing up was The Rock with Nicolas
solid
Cage
movie.
Good movie.
and Sean Connery. If you had to escape Alcatraz with a fellow Funhaus member, who would you pick and how would you go about doing so?
I would pick John Smith because I feel like he's the easiest person to make a paper mache dummy of. Is that bad? But then we'd get way too invested in it, and it would be morning by the time we finished.
Well, it's interesting because they describe The Rock where they don't escape Alcatraz, they break in.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
premise of the movie.
Kind of upset. But, yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not too pinned up about the outcome of the escape attempt, but I would want to go in with Don because he kind of looks like that dude from A Way Out. I know when I'm
yeah.
moving, like,
yeah.
we're the two dudes.
Yeah, you're right.
And we're back to back, we're arm in arm, we're crawling up shafts, we're kicking wrenches to each other under windows and stuff, and then someone's just like, what the hell are you guys doing? This is just like a quad. You're still in jail. And then I fall, and then we get into a little bickering match just like the game. It's going to be great.
The only problem is Don, he loves cinema, he loves history. He would be stopping to take pictures everywhere.
Yeah, Don, we gotta go.
You're trying to
We're
escape
escaping
and
the jail.
He's got to snap it all.
He's here, so I'm going to use him. Pete, honorary Funhouse member.
Ooh.
I'm going to escape with Pete because I know that early on I'll probably twist both my ankles.
Oh yeah, and he'll
And then
carry
he'll
you.
have to strap me to his back like a backpack and drag me through everything.
Since this person got the question wrong, the only reason I'd be escaping Alcatraz is because the tour is very boring. So I'd have to bring the only member of Funhouse with a phone who has Uber boat or whatever I need. How do you get off?
Bernie?
Bernie Burns, the only man in all of Rooster Teeth with a phone. That's how I leave Alcatraz, because the tour was insufferable.
I would pick Matt Peak because if we both took our shirts off and then hugged, what we would do is we'd blend in and turn into one man, and they would only think one man is escaping, not two.
How do you think
One man
vision
or Bigfoot.
works? I just imagine Bruce and Peak in the hole getting beaten by guards.
While they're hugging each other.
Taking twice the beating for one man.
Hit 'em twice as hard, boys.
Hit them, they're sodomites.
I'm gonna go by saying Elise, and let me explain why. Elise would be a great distraction for all the guards.
that's right.
Because there were jokes.
Like,
I took
ultimately, you would be dead, and like you wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
But I would be able to escape.
What's Pete implying here?
She would be talking up the guards. She'd be talking to them. They'd be like, "Ooh, a female," and meanwhile, I just escaped it.
I thought it was because she looks like Al Capone, and they can finally put that story to rest.
Elise, next question.
From Sebastian 1364, next year when Thanos is defeated in Avengers 4,
Spoiler.
he might not be.
Yeah, spoiler.
Which new character should only be shown in after credit scenes for 6 years?
I've been wondering about this since Iron Man 2. What happened to Subway Sandwich Kid?
What?
You know, the commercials where he gives a sandwich to some kid in the Midwest? We all remember that.
You know about Jared, the pedophile?
No.
That wasn't a kid, that was a man. He just liked kids.
Oh.
What are we talking about?
I was gonna pick zombie Captain America because we all know Captain America is gonna die in Avengers 4, and then when he does, he comes back to life as a zombie, but he's got a zombie shield, so it's all purple and
Yeah.
it's got death stuff.
Okay.
And then zombie Captain America goes like that. Look, the Russo brothers are gonna figure it all out. All right, just let them figure it out. Jeez.
I'm gonna go with everyone's favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe character, Natalie Portman's character from the first two Thors.
Jane Austen?
Yeah.
Jane Austen.
Austin?
I
I'm
don't
not
know her
sure.
last name.
Because, Thor 1 ended and people said, but what's her story? So they brought her back for Thor 2 and spent a lot of time discussing it, and now we can just get little bits and pieces every single film. Do you think she got killed in the Avengers?
Let's hope so.
I see no rules of it having to be like a Marvel character, so I'm gonna go with Radioactive Man.
Pete, could you play him in the live action?
Pete, can I play your Fallout Boy?
Yes.
I think we bring it back, because I think the last scene is going to be Tony Stark. It's going to be a callback to the original Iron Man where he's sitting in his living room tired, and then a dark, shadowy figure comes out, and it's Wesley Snipes' blade, and goes, guess what? Did you know you don't have to pay taxes?
Oh, no.
And for the next 6
then
years,
cops immediately show
no, but
up.
every 6 years, every movie for every 6 years, he keeps trying. He's like, listen, people, you don't need to pay.
You don't pay them. You do a little time.
Yeah.
You keep the money.
You come out
Man.
rich.
Marvel loves surprising people with the after credit scenes. What's the bigger surprise than James Gunn, new hero to the Marvel Universe?
That's a good.
Perhaps
that's a
this
great
has
idea.
all just been an entire ruse.
Wow. And all those kids are like, who's that 55-year-old lesbian?
That's the sixth Infinity Gem.
Yeah.
Pete, if you wouldn't mind reading the last question.
This is from Foxtrot. Are you ever going to bring back Question of the Week?
So Question of the Week was an ongoing series that we did where we would theme questions after a certain popular thing that was going on at the time, like Game of Thrones or Westworld.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I think those were the only two.
Why'd you get rid of it?
Well, because Game of Thrones isn't on every week. Is there something that we all watch that we can do a Question of the Week on?
I feel like the only show we are all collectively watching right now is Young Sheldon.
We can also just ask ourselves Young Sheldon questions.
I can barely even think of one. I have so many.
What kind of underwear does young Sheldon wear? Has he matured to a
I bet
man's brief?
At some point, there's probably an episode where he's at school and someone pulls his underwear all the way up over his head and
Yeah.
gives him like a wedgie,
Atomic wedgie.
which wouldn't work with a Mack Weldon. This episode of Open House is brought to you by Mack Weldon. Mack Weldon is better than whatever you're wearing right now. Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. A couple clicks on their website, and you will be sitting pretty in the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants that you'll ever wear. Mack Weldon also has a silver line of underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, which means even if you stink, these won't. They want you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they will still refund you, no questions asked. Not only does Mack Weldon's underwear, socks, and shirts look good, they perform well too. They're perfect for the gym, going to work, out on a date, or just everyday life. So go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off using promo code HOUSE, H-A-U-S. do yourself a favor, because Mack Weldon is better than whatever you're wearing right now.
Well, thanks for coming, Pete.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks for
having
joining us,
me.
Pete.
I had a great time.
Oh, thank you.
Columbine.
All kinds of debauchery. Get a tattoo?
Oh yeah, matching tattoos.
No, I'm not getting a tattoo. Absolutely not.
After you're done with Peak in Vegas, I pick him up and we go right over to the Great Islands and go whale riding.
What? You ride whales?
Well,
thing?
Pete does. He speaks to them, but what he doesn't know is that I'm a whale hunter and I'm just using him